So guys, if it's that PS5 or iPhone 16 you want.
No, we are not getting these cues. We are not going to use this podcast to get our gifts.
Can I use an opportunity? Can I use this opportunity to say what I want for my birthday?
No, thank you. We still have a whole year.
Morning, you tell me, okay, you know my boss is hitting on me. And then at 10, you know he's even here, he's hitting on me again now. And then over lunch hour, you know he's just called me in his office and he's hitting on me. And then at 4 again, the same. How do you think I'd feel? Do you think my day would be? Do you think I'd do anything? They don't even know that I'm suffering. See? Good.
Check on your wives. Men, check on your wives.
Voice your feelings.
Bye.
Yeah. Podcast number 2, episode
2.
Hey, yeah.
It's season 1, episode 2.
Season 1, episode 2. Imekuwa kama cinema. Okay, so this is the second episode of the Lighthouse podcast.
Yeah.
Conversations here about family and conflicts. Kijaribu kuongea to see how we can help each other resolve the issues that we face in families.
We're still looking for our one. Yes, we said our target is at least to get one. We are leaving out the 99 and focusing on that.
On the one.
So we are still in search of the one.
So you're the one we are coming for. Okay. Yeah, so today, an interesting topic. We told you we're going to have a series of topics. And today we have yet one very interesting one that we think is actually an issue in a lot of marriages and relationships. Causes a lot of problems. And this is communication.
We are now in your area.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. So communication is actually a very big issue in marriages, and it is one of said to be one of the main reasons why many marriages have ended up not working out.
Yeah, when you make reference to our last podcast, we had actually noted that there's a queue in the people who want to get divorces. So communication could be the main cause of maybe 90% or more of why they're actually in that particular queue.
Sure. Yeah, so ideally, most couples do not communicate effectively, which is very crucial to making marriages succeed. And it's important for us to look into this issue and see how best we can communicate effectively in these marriages so that we avoid a lot of problems that...
I think it starts from when you really make that decision that I want to get married, and maybe even get to a point of announcing it to your friends, your peers, your family. There's a lot of misconceptions that come along with that, and sometimes we listen too much to the noises and forget that some of them could actually not be true, or they're based on their own personal experiences. So it's different for each person. So maybe I think it's important that we highlight some of those misconceptions that we had and how we think about them. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so what are the misconceptions of communication in marriage? Very big lie. I don't agree with that. Ideally, disagreements are very natural and healthy in relationships. You can't avoid them. And we can't say that right now that you're talking about effective communication in marriage, that you avoid disagreements at all. No. There is no marriage that does not have disagreements. It's not possible. So what good communication and effective communication does, it actually helps you to address your conflicts constructively. Okay, so it helps you solve your issues while avoiding extremes and doing things like fighting fairly.
Yeah, considering that these are two very different people who have lived most of their lives until that part that you made a decision to actually start living together and getting married. You've basically lived having your own way of thinking, and that other person has also lived having their own way of thinking. So you're bound to have disagreements. But then it turning to be a good way of communicating is how you handle that disagreement now. Yeah.
That's true. So ideally, eventually, if you guys learn effective ways of handling your issues. I remember in the past when we got married, we we used to have bad fights. And we used not to fight fairly. Not physical, but the disagreements that we had. But with time, we grew to know and understand better ways of communicating without really hurting each other.
But do you think this is why people say men should always say sorry? Like you should be the ones apologizing. Could this be coming from that kind of misconception, such that tukubali ishe? You know, so men should always be saying sorry because the woman will always be feeling like they're the ones who are being hurt or maybe disadvantaged with whichever way that you had a disagreement on. So I don't know. Do you think this is where this came from your opinion?
Yeah. Ideally, I know that's a serious issue. It's a big problem that we fall into. Some people say men do not say sorry. We do not apologize. Some people say men apologize faster than women.
And you actually start early, like from young boys.
We start apologizing.
No, not apologizing.
We start by not apologizing.
Yes, from very young ages.
So you think men do not apologize?
Yes, I still think. I want to believe most of the time it's women that do the apologies. Yeah.
This is where the issue is, because ideally I also think women, before they apologize to you, they leave Nakuru, go to Nairobi, go to Mombasa, Meru, Tarakanidi, all the way.
I think we need to agree to disagree on that.
Yeah, but ideally what we are saying is effective communication will help you sort and discuss your disagreements better.
Yeah.
Doesn't make them worse. So disagreements are part of life. Yes. Yeah.
We expect our spouses to be angels.
Can I go first on this? So, hey. Yeah, many a times, this is what I usually feel about women. Men are going to tell me whether they agree with this or not. But yeah, sometimes my wife expects me to know things without her telling me. I don't know how I'm supposed to know that. I don't know how this... yeah, they expect you to know. They are offended even when you do not, even when they have not told you. So this is it's a serious one.
Well, maybe just to bring a different perspective to that. Somehow we expect that having lived with someone for a certain number of months, years, basically whatever period, because we are in sync. Somehow women usually have that instinct of feeling like they would understand you without even you having to mention what's going on with you. So we also expect reciprocation sometimes, because you don't have to be told everything, like really.
I come from the background that says whatever is not communicated is not known.
No, there's education and then there's life.
Yeah, all the same. I think this is what I think should happen. You know, sometimes in this specific issue, women usually use nonverbal cues to communicate.
Agree.
Which are usually misinterpreted. So that this misconception is solved and there is clarity in what you're saying, I really think you need to voice the issues. You need to voice whatever is inside you, whatever you're feeling. And then let what you voiced accompany the nonverbals, okay? It brings a lot of clarity when you do what? When nonverbals are accompanied by clear conversations.
But there's a scenario where maybe first time I explain to you exactly what I am feeling and what are my thoughts and why I'm going through a certain thing. So next time I'm going through it, why should I come back again and explain the same thing to you again? I mean, I can't keep on explaining it. So that's where women are coming from. First time we agree, I need to explain. But for the other periods, you should know and tell yourself that when she behaves like this, this is that time. Yeah?
Yeah. So that would be normal communication. But remember, effective communication calls for clarity. Okay? So that you are not misunderstood and there's clarity in whatever you want to communicate, please just ensure you actually also voice it.
But you know, men are misleading maybe sometimes because most men would write to the girlfriend. When you're at girlfriend stage, they will write to them, you don't need to tell me about how you feel. I already know what you're going through. So what happens when it comes to marriage? They stop feeling. Good. You don't need to answer that now, but think about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But ideally, like I think the bottom line, let's just agree that if you want to be understood well, if you want your feelings to be understood well, also voice them. Brings a lot of clarity, like I said.
Yeah, maybe we'll try to get a balance.
Exactly.
Try to understand this side and also I also try to voice it because I know it's also something that happens to us a lot. It's not just something that is unique to other couples out there, but it also happens to us. Sometimes you would just assume this person needs to really know what I'm going through. I mean, we've been married for how many years? But you're still struggling.
True.
We've never gotten that perfect balance, but at least right now we've made progress. We've tried to communicate more by not assuming, but also he's tried to understand some of those nonverbal cues that go and explain.
You wake up in the morning, you go to work, and you're feeling angry, you've not eaten anything, and you expect me to know. At lunchtime, this person does not know that I've not taken anything.
Yeah, just drop in a text.
At 4, this person does not know that I'm not. They don't even know that I'm suffering. See? Good.
Check on your wives. Men, check on your wives.
Voice your feelings.
Fine.
Really?
May not. I think that's why it's a misconception.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's talking and there's also the action bit.
Yeah.
I think there has to be an action following that much talking.
There's that bit, and then there's also the issue of, when you talk more, that's quantity, right? But ideally, what needs to happen is quality. You need to have quality conversations, quality communications. When you over-communicate without addressing the core issue, the specific issue that you guys are dealing with, then it means there's a problem. You'll not solve anything. You can talk from morning to evening, but you're not dealing with the specific issues.
Exactly. You've not really... We could be talking about something that is out of our main problem.
Yeah.
So we could have talked a lot, yes, but that main issue under the carpet.
Not addressed at all.
So not addressed. So I think that's a misconception, and people need to be told that they need to have a balance between the talking and the action, and also addressing, while talking, addressing what exactly needs to be addressed. Yeah.
True.
Women, we are being targeted.
Okay, I think it also has to do with men, because there are people who think men are not supposed to express their feelings.
True.
Yeah.
And I think maybe of late there's been a lot of talk around mental health awareness, and mostly they would surround it along men not talking about their issues. I think it's what we just mentioned, that men over time have been assumed as the stronger sex, and that way they're not supposed to even show that they're emotional. So what happens to this? We've had suicide cases, we've had mental cases, we've had depression issues. So yeah, I think it's not weakness. That must be a misconception. I think you trusting your spouse to a level of really opening up and telling them about anything that probably you're going through is not a sign of weakness.
That's true.
Yeah.
Actually, it is said that vulnerability builds trust. Okay? When someone is vulnerable to you, then it means they really trust you. And, when you hold back your emotions, it would eventually go ahead and start creating some distance between the two of you.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think that's where even what we just discussed about nonverbal cues, probably that comes from what we're just talking about, because probably at some point someone feared expressing themselves, or someone feared expressing themselves to your spouse or your partner, and that resulted to you not talking so much about it, and you throwing things under the carpet, and many other issues. I think all these things that we're talking about as misconceptions, they're somehow all wired together. And if you address that one thing, that issue that you're not addressing, it should be like a trickle-down effect to all other unaddressed or unresolved matters. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are supposed to be vulnerable more, but at the same time, if someone has decided and chosen to be vulnerable to you, please give them a safe space to do that.
Yeah.
It's very important for you to make agreement. You can even, there's a couple I had, when they want to be vulnerable in a situation, they tell their partner, I now need safe space.
You start with a disclaimer.
Exactly. I now need a safe space for expressing this. So I think this should be provided, but at the same time also, do not use vulnerability as a weapon. I think sometimes
and also
you're
that
too emotional. You're addressing an issue and someone is crying, and they're the ones who have probably messed up, making you feel guilty in that situation.
Yeah, there's that. Okay, I think I'll respond to your remarks in two ways. One, you can actually express yourself to your partner, and next time you're having a disagreement, they raise that issue. So again, you might fear being vulnerable to this person because you don't know where they're going to use it against you. So as much as you're talking, have that safe space, like what you have just said, that this ends here and it will not build up or be used as a weapon in another conversation. Then secondly, crying sometimes could be, not everyone is expressive. Not everyone knows how to really talk about their issues. I am guilty of that. So sometimes people will tears just start flowing, and you even feel like pinching yourself and telling, stop crying, this is not the time to cry, because you really want to defend yourself. But again, crying is a form of you showing emotion, and it shouldn't be taken in as a weakness,
Yeah, that's true. Honesty is a very good principle in communication. It's very important to be honest, but at the same time, you need to be very sensitive with honesty.
Yeah, I'm okay with that statement until where it says no matter what. Like I should always speak my mind, yes, but no matter what, I tend to disagree with that because, again, you also need to be conscious about who you're addressing when you're expressing your feelings and even how you're bringing it out. So this is a serious misconception because if you go to your couple setup with that misconception that I should actually express it no matter what. I don't care about how my partner will receive it, my children, my family, their family. I think that would be a very confused society because we need to show empathy. We need to show love even as we're expressing our feelings. We need to do it as if we are really caring for that person so that we are not out to damage that person, but maybe look for a way of helping them out. If you're addressing maybe a personality issue, bring it in a way that sounds positive, but at least you're also correcting them, you know.
Yeah, I have an issue. I'm thinking, and allow me to ask you this. If your boss is hitting on you, how do you express that? Or how do you tell your partner and not make them feel bad about it?
Yeah, it goes back to honesty. Like for me, that question to me would be very easy because like how it's not even a hard thing to tell you about because we come from a place of honesty, you know. But if it's a couple that has not been talking about their issues and you've been behaving in some type of way, and then you bring it up, then the recipient might think like you're the one who sent those cues to that other person. So really, there'll be a trust issue. So again, we are saying trust, honesty, openness from the word go. Like when that issue starts and you express it to your partner and told them, hey, ABCD is happening in my workplace, they'll already be on board and not waiting till the last minute when you're not able to control it. Like there's a movie we're actually watching that is coming out from this. It's called, I think, Obsessed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where this guy refused to actually tell the spouse when he was being, what would I call it? Blackmailed by a fellow colleague. And then last minute is when you're disclosing it. So how do I trust you? Why are you telling me now? You know?
So
yeah, I think that's how
in that specific case, the way you'd be honest about it and make someone feel bad, in the morning you tell me, okay, you know my boss is hitting on me. And then at 10, you know he's even here, he's hitting on me again now. And then over lunch hour, you know he's just called me in his office and he's hitting on me. And then at 4 again, the same. How do you think I'd feel? Do you think my day would be? Do you think I'd do anything?
The issue with your explanation is it's not addressing what are you doing about it. It's only talking about one side.
Exactly.
Yes, he's doing this, so what are you doing about it? You know, it's one-sided.
So let's be careful with honesty. Let's ensure that we do not put a lot of doubts in the hearts of.
Yeah.
Na useme mapema. But also be careful. Another issue that you also need to be careful with is how your partner looks like. Okay. So some of us are too honest. Hey babe, siku hizi umenona. Siku hizi uko na matayo.
You had to use that.
So that's honesty.
Wow.
Hey, siku hizi uko na utambi, you know. So I think we need to be very careful and sensitive with. I don't like your dress. It doesn't look.
These days I hear ladies call them roto tanks. Yes, so you get children, and then I have my roto tank, and you're thinking this tank is too big. So what do you want me to do about it? Yeah.
So there's some honesty that would feel like an attack.
True.
Be careful. Don't be too honest. Always, not really. And let me, as we go through this, okay? Let's also connect this with gifting.
I'm really waiting for how you want to respond to this one.
Let's connect this with gifting. Sometimes you gift people things they actually don't like. But talking about honesty again, you're careful not to be honest. But they don't just this gift. Actually do not like it, but yeah.
This is a trick question because there's a gift I bought and have not been unwrapped for the last 1 month, and I'm wondering, are you communicating? But yes, I agree with you. There are sometimes you'd buy someone something and they're like, okay, thank you, but
so I think,
but it's the thought that counts.
Exactly. I think we really need to expanding this wider. If I love you, I'd know what you want or need, yeah, to some extent, because I've stayed with you. But mostly, since love is mostly internal, I'd wish that we learn how to ask the other person, how do you want me to love you better? How do you want me to gift you? Can we talk about it so that I get it from your perspective? So that I do not express love my way and not show it your way.
Yeah, are you talking about understanding your partner's love language?
Exactly.
Yeah,
that would also be...
That makes sense in that perspective, so that you don't buy me flowers and I don't know how I'm going to walk around in town with this big bouquet. I would maybe prefer you sending the flowers via M-Pesa. Yes, understand your partner, understand what is the best way of showing them that you love them, so that you also don't communicate something else. Exactly. You can buy me a black dress and maybe I have issues with black dresses, maybe because of something that I've gone through, then it turns out to be something like very, very bad, and you'll wonder, why is this person not wearing my dress? So let's just understand this partner, and it's not just about gifting, but also we are talking about the way that you show them that you love them. How do you do that?
So guys, if it's that PS5 or iPhone 16 you want...
No, we are not getting this cues. We are not going to use this podcast to get our gifts.
Can I use an opportunity? Can I use this opportunity to say what I want for my birthday?
No, thank you. We still have a whole year.
No, let me tell you, so that you prepare early. Okay. Do you think you're responsible?
I will not accept full responsibility. I think for me it has to be shared. It just has to be.
And actually it's for every situation, even when you're wronged. Sometimes you are the one in the receiving end, both ends. Let's all be responsible. Don't think because this person has offended me, so it's my turn to not to be responsible with how I communicate whatever issues are there.
It might be too much baggage on your partner when you say they're the ones who are responsible for it. So yeah, I think that's a very bad misconception, and it should be like we all come, not even 50-50. Bring your 100, I bring my 100, then we work it out, So no one should be feeling like they're the ones who are responsible fully for good communication, and vice versa. So there's like a common thing that we always tell each other, especially when that fight has become too heated. We always tell someone to take a moment, then try to flip it on the other side. Just see from your partner's view, where are they coming from? Then probably that might give you a different approach in terms of whatever you are dealing with. Yeah. So I think it's both parties.
Communication is actually a shared responsibility, and all the parties are supposed to be involved in communicating effectively. So each partner needs to participate so that there is harmony and there is understanding when you are resolving or dealing with whatever issue.
I don't argue with the pro. So, I agree.
Yeah. Most of us are guilty for this silent treatment. Does it solve anything eventually?
How?
Acha nimnyamazie. Hata nijui. Ama, you also use it not knowing it would cause problems, saying, let me avoid confrontation.
Talking about it.
Yeah, let me just be silent.
I don't think it does. I only think it postpones the problem.
Yeah.
At some point, you might have to go back and deal with what you didn't. Yeah, and maybe at that particular time, it's maybe become messy. So it's important to deal with them when they occur, like whatever issue that you're having. Silent treatment can never be, basically not silent treatment, but silence can never be like a solution. Yeah, so most people, unfortunately sometimes, the partner would speak up, express what challenge they may be going through or whatever they want to be addressed. But then the recipient decides to look at it as an attack and it decides now, from now going forward, I will not be speaking to you. I will now keep quiet because you've decided you're the one who knows how to identify problems and all these things. So at the end of the day, it's also about the recipient.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be a two-way thing. Someone gives the message, but also the person receiving it should be open-minded so that you actually be intentional about solving whatever issue you're addressing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think open dialogue is very important. It's important that you do not put issues under the carpet because you'd be creating more problems later. It still come up one day, one time. And when you do not also talk about it, then it means the same problem will come next time.
In a bigger way.
Exactly. You'll still feel the same pain. Issues are better dealt with when they arise. Issue of silent treatment, you may think you're hurting someone, but eventually you're also not helping yourself in any way.
Yeah, unless the silence is to help you compose yourself. You know, there's some things that can happen, and you know, if you speak about them immediately, you might hurt that other person, because you also said we need to be careful about how we express our thoughts. So unless the silence is for you giving yourself time
Cool down.
Yeah, to cool down, to compose yourself, and then now you address it in a way that is respectable to everyone, and also that doesn't cause other issues.
Exactly.
You know.
Like taking a walk, when you think temperatures are too high, and to avoid a conflict.
Yeah, it could be anything. I think people have different ways of exhaling what. Some would meditate, some would swim, some would walk, some would go to the gym, but basically find your thing. Find what works for you, then come back and address whatever issue that you wanted to address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is quite interesting. This question is coming when I recently had an argument with someone. Let me use that someone. I know it also happens in marriages. I've not mentioned them. And then they started laughing sheepishly. And it was in the middle of an argument. I felt so offended.
Yeah.
And they kept on insisting, this is how we solve things, This is how we deal with issues. I think it's very risky. It's a very risky thing to do when someone is in the height of probably,
Yeah, it's plain disrespectful. But I also want to look at it in two ways. There are times the humor can help diffuse, but also addressing it as a misconception is whereby you think that you would you'll be excused for all your actions by just bringing humor. Sometimes it rubs off on people so badly. So in that case, I totally think humor does not solve like all problems. It just depends on the context and the issue that you're addressing, and even the people that you're having that conversation with, you know.
Yeah, humor is quite dismissive sometimes. You may think you're bringing a light moment in a situation, but the other party may take it like you're trying to dismiss what the real issue is.
Yeah,
so it's important
bigger
to
problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And I know there are very many misconceptions.
They're huge.
These are
Many.
just but a few. Let's keep the conversation. Let's keep talking about them. You can also comment and tell us which other misconceptions in communication do you see, especially in marriage or in relationships.
Well, I think based on what we've been discussing today, it's important that we note that we do not know of all the misconceptions that are out there. But again, we're also not coming from a perfect scenario. We are coming from a solution point of view, talking about things that we've gone through, talking about things that we've had other people going through. And basically we are saying, have empathy when you're addressing your issues. There are a lot of misconceptions. Some might work for you, some will not. But ideally, how do you address those communication issues that you're having? Think about that other person before you address it, so that you show empathy. I believe it's all about love, and empathy and love go together. So basically, you'd want to take care of that person's feelings, even in the way you are addressing whatever you want to address. Then once you express yourself, it's also important to get feedback. Get feedback from your partner, get feedback from your family, because we are saying as Lighthouse, you're not just talking about the marriage or the family between, and we're not basing our conversation fully on the couple, but you're also talking about the family, which will involve the children and sometimes even the extended families. So we are saying, beyond you showing empathy, also seek feedback. You might have raised something, but also be ready to listen to what they would want to say, so that you're able to get into a common ground or a common level of agreement. Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's why.
Clarity is very important. It's very important for you to be understood. So I think we need to cultivate also emotional awareness. Recognize other people's feelings. It's very important for you to express whatever you're feeling respectfully.
Yeah.
By also avoiding statements like you. Try to use the word I instead, okay?
Yeah.
So rather than focusing on blaming your partner, try to use the word I most in whatever conversations you are, as you prioritize listening. Listening is a very important aspect that would help couples who are struggling with communication issues.
A lot.
Many people do not give their partners time to express whatever they want to talk. Turn-taking is a key.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Exactly.
Turn-taking
It's a key
is a serious
thing.
problem.
You need to learn how to take turns. Let someone express themselves and feel like they've made a point. It's very important for us to cultivate emotional awareness and try to recognize your feelings as well as voice them respectfully.
Yeah, true.
To try and avoid issues that would come out of them. And then, like I said, let's try to use the statement I instead of using you. You usually brings the aspect of you blaming your partner in almost
Even
everything.
attacking.
Yeah, even when you think you're really right, please, let's try to avoid you. Ama the terms like si nilikuambia, si. So let's be very careful. And also, listening is a big problem in many relationships. Many couples do not listen to each other. So I think it's important for us to cultivate an attitude of listening. Yeah. Do not run to respond before you even try to understand what the other party is trying to address or communicate. So I think it's important to also, when the problems are too much, let's invest in counseling.
And seek help.
Exactly. Look for a professional, someone who can help the two of you improve your communication skills. It's very important for you to...
Or maybe not just communication, but generally help you with whatever you're dealing with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when there's a problem, make sure you do what? You seek for help. And eventually, we're going to learn how to effectively communicate.
Yeah.
And you know what the Bible says about communication? So do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen.
Yeah, the tongue is a very powerful tool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So communicate effectively. And that has been the Lighthouse Podcast, episode number 2. If you have any issues that you want us to address and you want to directly reach us out, our email is in the description. And remember, I'm practicing. So like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the what?
The like button.
No.
The subscription
The notification bell.
Oh, yeah. Wow, we are all learning.
Yeah. So do what?
Like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
Make sure you also comment.
Okay.
Thank you. So these have been the Lighthouse Podcast. Go and bring many more. We are leaving the 99 to go and look for that one who is not here.
Yeah, so help us out. Thank you for watching. Adios.